Hello. So, as a child of God, you matter. Your energy, your supply, who you are, your light in the world, it all matters. And while the enemies who hidden, known, and unknown enemies may not believe that or see that in you, there is a jealousy. And I would say some people are even energy vampires. And why is that? What are the 7 signs of an energy vampire? Let's talk about that today. Before I dive in, let's talk about energy supply. We know as believers that we get every good and perfect gift comes from the Lord. According to James 1:17, every good and every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow or turning. So all those good gifts that we have in our life come down from the Father. And people who are not believers in God, who've turned away from God, or who've never been believers in God, and maybe they've been brought up in Satanism, they aren't getting those gifts from the Father. Now, we know that the sun sets and rises on the good and the evil, but God isn't shining down those perfect gifts to children who do not believe and love and follow Him and follow His word. So that's sort of the making of an energy vampire. Is our source comes from above. It comes vertically as a child of God. And those who don't follow God and follow Jesus Christ, they're going out horizontally. They're going out. Imagine your arms stretching out. They're coming out. They're going out to other things, to other human beings for source and supply. Or maybe they're worshiping idols and other gods, and they're going there for source and supply as well. But it's the making of an energy vampire if they're not getting those good gifts from the Father. So what do we look for? What are some signs of an energy vampire, of a person that's living outside the will and blessing of God? First off, number one, they thrive on a drama response. If you are a happy person, pretty content with your life, the way things are, for the most part, we all have our hard days, but if you're a happy person, you're hanging out with them, this person might try to make something happen or say something to trigger a response from you other than what would be happiness. It could be to get you to gossip with them, or to get an anger response, shock, or fear. Any kind of knee-jerk reaction from a child of God that isn't from the fruit of the Spirit is a win for this person, because they're able to turn your behavior, to modify your behavior to something not of the fruit of the Spirit. It's a win. So in Satan's kingdom, anything, if they're a true believer in Satan, if they hurt someone, or if they take a pastor down, sleep with destroy a church, or do something heavy duty, they get points, they get rewards in the enemy's kingdom for doing those things. Now, it's probably a very small point to turn your behavior around temporarily and get you to gossip with them. But yeah, anything that they can do to turn you around to something not of God is not great. And that's one sign of an energy vampire. Number two, they're often in a crisis or in drama. And from that drama, they kind of create a cloud around them, like Pigpen and the Charlie Brown series. But through the drama, they're being fed. They're getting supply. They're getting supply from other people just listening to their drama. Number three, they will dump their problems on you, but they aren't willing to listen or show concern about your own life's challenges. Number four, if you're being sensitive about something, or maybe showing sensitivity and feelings, and they gaslight you, that's a sign of an energy vampire. Gaslighting for showing feelings is generally someone who doesn't have empathy, and it could be a sign of a narcissistic trait or behavior or person characteristic. Number five, they will take your kindness for granted and possibly use it against you. Now, this could be for a variety of reasons, but one is if if they've overstepped your boundaries one too many times and you didn't squash it and let them know, like, hey, that wasn't cool when this happened, and let them know, they'll push and push and push. So they'll think you're a pushover and take that kindness for granted. Number 6, they'll have controlling and or narcissistic traits. If you're curious about narcissism, it's really important to learn about it, because there are a lot of narcissists in society, and some psychotherapists believe that this is growing, this behavior trait is growing. And number 7, they might pretend to be your friend if they are a friend and not say a coworker or a family member. They'll pretend to be your friend because they have something that they need from you. But let's say you're busy and the supply isn't offered for an extended period of time, they could just vanish. Once their supply is gone, you might never hear from them again. Or you're unavailable and you're really busy doing something, and suddenly they really need you and pretend something's really urgent at a really critical point in your life, when, say, you're working on a deadline at work or you have something going on with your family. And if they could get you away from something that really matters a lot to get some supply from you, gives them some sense of satisfaction that they were able to pull you away from that deadline or that family member or that issue with a spouse, to create an emergency that really is an emergency that they lied about or was blown out of proportion, is just another way that they're just being an energy vampire. So that's it. It really is 8 instead of 7, but wanted to cover that today. And I saw an interesting quote recently I want to share. It's just, know the difference between those who stay to feed the soil and those who come to grab the fruit. All right. Well, thanks for listening. I hope this is helpful. I pray that everyone listening has a strong spirit of discernment in the times that we're living in, and that you're able to spot individuals of this nature and have the boundaries you need to keep yourself safe. All right. Thanks for listening. Amen.